starting on the front row in the number 9 car. Sponsored by Rainbow Pellet Stoves, Matt Rogers Engines, Kaleidoscope Coffee Company, the number 9 out of Medford, Oregon, Randy Houston. On his outside, the number 7C, sponsored by NorCal Transmissions, Salvage Concrete Products, Dana Stahl Race Cars, Schaefer's Racing Oil. Coming to us out of Santa Rosa, California, the 7C of Cameron Austin. Starting third in the number 20. Sponsored by McMurray and Sons Roofing, thanks to David and Kate, Laurenrath Trucking and Firewood, Rattlesnake Ridge Olive Oil, Golden Gate Meat Company, Lucerne Roofing, Looney Tuned Exhaust, NorCal Transmission, Dana Stahl Chassis, and honoring Dale Baldwin Masonry out of Kelseyville, Darren Knight. In the number 24, owner Wayne Ferrari of Ferrari Farms, Don Kramer, Heads by Steve, Tony's Pizza, Transmissions by Hal, All Pro Coatings, out of Tracy, California, Scott Winters. In the number 21, sponsored by Sullivan Masonry, Lake County Tribal Health, Napa Lake Parts in Lakeport, Dana Stahl Race Cars, Lake County Pumps out of Kelseyville, the 21 of Darren Sullivan. In the 5K, sponsored by Vogel's RV, Joe's Racing Products, PFC Brakes, Pit Stop USA, NorCal Powder Coating, Bell Helmets, Eyewear Motorsports, Swift Springs, Racing Electronics, STR out of Ukiah, California, Kyle Telstrom. In the number 27, sponsored by Running Springs Heating and Air of Lakeport, Speedy Signs out of Ukiah, Economy Heating and Air, Roseville, Cars Auto Body Lakeport, NorCal Transmission Santa Rosa, Borello Racing Engines, J. Buse Racing and Fabrication. Special thanks to Richard Elliott, Kyle Polak, Kyle Heath, and Josh Buse out of Lakeport, California, Ian Elliott. In the number 77, sponsored by Gary Canberra, West Coast Fiberglass Pools, Headley Family, out of Kelseyville, California, Jeremy Nolan. In the number 44, out of Potter Valley, California, Simi Tour. On his outside in the 5X, sponsored by Creative Landscaping, Beast Mode Fabrication, Danny Howe Designs, out of Cloverdale, California, the 5X of Steve Taylor. Oh. Hold on. Who is that? That's the 08. We got to go back. In the 08, out of Kelseyville, California, Chris Salmina. Is that the 5X?
That was the 5X. Now you're on the 12.
Number 12, sponsored by Yellow Rose Vineyard, Best Trucking, Rube Body and Paint. Special thanks to Noel McCormick out of Cloverdale, California, Dustin DeRozier. Yeah, where are we at? So where's 12th? The 96, sponsored by RJB Engine Development, Universal Window Cleaners, Aerial Lift, Ben's Garage Doors, Southern Rock and Granite. The 96, out of Redding, California, Keith Bloom. The number 18, sponsored by Valley Tire and Wheel, out of Redding, California, Cody Braun. In the number 5 car, sponsored by Action Sanitary, Bad Racing, NorCal Transmissions out of Kelseyville, the 5 of Mike Sullivan. The number 13, sponsored by Klein Bookkeeping and Tax Service, Bob Keys Racing Engines, Pabst Blue Ribbon Construction out of Kelseyville, the 13 of Donovan Cox. Sponsored by Majestic Landscaping, Bill Benz Racing Engines, Medieval Motorsports. That's the 37 out of Lucerne of Robert Schmidt. Sponsored by Valley Tire and Wheel, Sal Lopez out of Sacramento, California. And that is your field. Cameron Austin on his outside. They exit turn 4. Green is in the air. And here we go. Cameron Austin takes a slight lead over Houston going down the backstretch. Doesn't quite have it all. Houston's still on the inside. Cameron Austin gets the position over Houston. And along comes the 20, followed by the 24. They are nose to tail. The 21 gets into the back of the 24 just a little bit. Oh, the 77 is in the wall. 77 of Jeremy Nolan is in the wall. Oh, that is unfortunate. One lap in the race. That is Jeremy Nolan out of Kelseyville. We managed to stay green. Nolan pulls off the track. The 7C of Cameron Austin continues to lead over Houston. And Darren Knight, the 24 of Scott Winters. The field is all nose to tail. There is a battle between the 27 of Ian Elliott and Kyle Tellstrom. A little further back in the field there. They get that sorted out. Elliott takes the position over Tellstrom. Continuing out front is Cameron Austin, followed by Randy Houston, the 20 of Darren Knight, the 24 of Scott Winters, the 21 of Darren Sullivan. Round out your top 5. The 24 slows on the backstretch. The 24 of Scott Winters slows on the backstretch and is taking high. We continue to stay green. The yellow is now out. The yellow is out for the 24 of Scott Winters as he comes to a stop in turn number 4. Field looks great entering turn 3, exiting turn number 4. Johnny waves the green flag, and Cameron Austin sets sail into turn 1 with the lead, followed by Darren Knight looking to the inside and taking the position over Randy Houston. In the 4th position is the 21 of Darren Sullivan with Ian Elliott on his inside, followed by Kyle Tellstrom in the 5K. Elliott continues to be on the inside of Darren Sullivan. Going down the backstretch, Sullivan has that position. Does not shut the door on Elliott, and Elliott is still on his inside, exiting turn number 4. Top 5 start to spread out a little bit. The 21 continues to stay high. The 27 on his inside as they enter turn number 3. Ian Elliott exits turn number 4, still in the 5th position over the 21, has the position over the 27. The field continues to be single file throughout the field. Up front continues to be Cameron Austin, followed by Darren Knight, Randy Houston, Darren Sullivan, and Ian Elliott. Kyle Tellstrom, Destin DeRozier, Simi Tour, Cody Braun, and Mike Sullivan round out your top 10. The 21 of Darren Sullivan has put pressure on the 9 of Randy Houston for that 3rd position. Ian Elliott is right there with the 21. Cameron Austin is out front. Darren Knight is trying to reel him in, but that 3rd position is where the action is at. Oh, and Randy Houston gets a little loose in turn 1, little loose exiting turn 2. There's a position change for the 3rd position. The 21 of Darren Sullivan. Looks like there might have been a little contact between the 9 and the 21 there. The 21 was given a warning by Johnny. Cameron Austin continues to lead over Darren Knight, Darren Sullivan, Randy Houston, Ian Elliott, Kyle Tellstrom, Dustin DeRozier, Simi Tour, Cody Braun, and Mike Sullivan. The 24 makes the pass on the 5X at the back here. We have a pass at the back. The 5K of Tellstrom is putting pressure on the 27 of Elliott as they exit turn number 2. Ian Elliott continues to hold the position, but Tellstrom is right there. Looks like there might have been a little contact as they exit turn 4. Ian Elliott continues to hold on to that position. 24 of Scott Winters is making his march back from that yellow. He has caught Mike Sullivan. Tellstrom in the 5K is still trying to get the 27, but out front it is all Cameron Austin. The action is further back between the 27 of Ian Elliott and the 5K of Tellstrom. That battle is for the 5th and 6th position. Cameron Austin has put the O2 of Sal Lopez down a lap. Darren Knight just got around the O2 of Sal Lopez. Johnny let Sal know that the rest of the leaders are continuing to come. Next in Cameron Austin's sight is the number 37 car of Robert Schmidt. Austin is starting to catch Schmidt exiting. As they exit turn number 4, Schmidt is given the move over and acknowledges it. Cameron Austin goes underneath him. Exiting turn number 2, Cameron Austin clears the 37 of Schmidt. The rest of the field continues also to get around the O2 of Lopez. And the battle continues for that 5th and 6th between Elliott and Tellstrom. The 24 has gotten around the 5 and is putting pressure on the 18. The 24 of Scott Winters is trying to get around the 18 of Cody Braun. That is for the 9th and 10th position as Winters looks on the inside of Braun going into 3 and makes that pass exiting turn number 4. Further up front, we're still watching that battle between Tellstrom and Elliott. They are just coming up to the 37 of Schmidt. And out front continues to be Cameron Austin. Cameron Austin over Darren Knight in the 20. Austin is starting to come up on the slower car of Chris Salmina. The field is catching that lap traffic, and that could come into play. Scott Winters just got around the 37 of Schmidt and made that clear. Winters has worked his way back to the 9th position. The 7 of Austin is passing the 08 of Chris Salmina, makes that pass clear, and Darren Knight has closed that gap. The 5X of C. Taylor has retired from this race. Out front continues to be Cameron Austin, and Darren Knight is quickly catching him and closing that gap. This is the closest that Knight has been to Austin. He is reeling him in here. Running order is Cameron Austin, Darren Knight, Darren Sullivan, Randy Houston, Ian Elliott, Kyle Tellstrom, Dustin DeRozier, Simi Tour, Scott Winters, Scott Braun, Mike Sullivan, Keith Bloom, Donovan Cox, Chris Salmina, Robert Schmidt, Sal Lopez. Off the track is Steve Taylor and Jeremy Nolan. Let me get it, guys. We are 33 laps down. This is a 60-lap main event. We are watching Cameron Austin continue to lead this race over Darren Knight. There is traffic ahead. We have got lap traffic. We've got lead laps. We've got all kinds of stuff going on here. Get around the 37 of Robert Schmidt. Cameron Austin is now working on the 13 of Donovan Cox. Austin has a hard time getting around Cox, which has closed the gap for Darren Knight. Knight is right there with him. That is only a 2-car. That lead has moved down to 2 cars. Lopez has been given the black flag and is acknowledging it. Out front continues to be the 7C of Cameron Austin. They are trying to weave their way through lap traffic here. Darren Knight is trying to get around the 96. He's cleared the 13. The 96 of Keith Bloom out of Reading. There goes Knight to his inside as they enter turn number 3. Oh, and there's contact between Bloom and Cox. They managed to get that straightened out, and we continue to stay green. The 7C of Cameron Austin continues to lead. He has stretched out his lead again over Darren Knight now that they have cleared the lap traffic. The 21 of Darren Sullivan is now trying to contend with the lapped cars of Keith Bloom and the 13 of Donovan Cox. Further on back is the 9 of Randy Houston and Ian Elliott. The battle between Elliott and Tellstrom has settled down some, but they continue to run nose to tail as we are 42 laps down of a 60-lap race. Scott Winters continues to be on the move, but continues in the 9th position. Out front, entering turn number 3, is the 7C of Cameron Austin, followed by Darren Knight. Further on back, the 21 of Darren Sullivan continues to have issue. Darren Sullivan manages to finally get around the 13 of Donovan Cox and sets his sights on the lap 96 of Keith Bloom. Darren continues to run the high line, entering into turn number 1, exiting turn number 2. The 7C of Cameron Austin is catching the 5 of Mike Sullivan. Sullivan pulls high, the 7C comes underneath and brings with him the 20 of Darren Knight. Your leaders have cleared the 5 car. Darren Sullivan is still working on trying to get around the 96. The top 2 cars have a clear racetrack entering into turn number 3. The next car that's going to be their next lap car will be the number 37. The 21 has finally cleared the 96 and is about a quarter of a track behind the 5. Out front continues to be Cameron Austin, followed by Darren Knight, Darren Sullivan, Randy Houston, and Ian Elliott are your top 5. car of Randy Houston gets a little bit loose. Exiting turn 4, manages to regain it, continues on in that 4th position. Your leader continues to be Cameron Austin in the 7C over the 20 of Darren Knight, the 21 of Darren Sullivan, the 9 of Randy Houston, the 27 of Ian Elliott. The 7C is going to get under the 37 of Robert Schmidt. And Darren Knight works on clearing him as they enter turn 3. Exiting turn 4, the top 2 managed to clear the 37. The 27 of Elliott and the 5K, that battle has spread out a little bit there as Austin continues to lead over Knight out front. We are 54 laps down in the 60-lap main event. It is not over yet. Darren Knight has turned up the heat and is coming hard on Cameron Austin in that first position. 1, 2 are nose to tail. I have the feeling before this is over, that battle and that gap is going to get even closer. Exiting turn number 4 is Cameron Austin. He continues to lead. Over Darren Knight, Darren Sullivan, Randy Houston, Ian Elliott, Kyle Tellstrom, Scott Winters has moved up to the 7th position. 8th position is Dustin DeRozier. The 9th position is Semi Tour, and rounding out the top 10 is the 18 of Cody Braun. The 20 car just made a hard charge into turn number 3 on the 7C of Austin. Austin continues to hold the lead on the inside. The 20 took a peek, couldn't get it done. He is there. The 7C of Cameron Austin trying to hold off the 20 of Darren Knight. Knight is there. The white flag is out. This is the last lap. Wow. Here we go. The 7C continues to hold off the 20. The 20 is there. They're going down the backstretch. 7C, the 20 dives hard. And your Cameron Austin wins your North State Modified race over Darren Knight. What a race. What a battle. Darren Knight tried to give him all he had. Finishing in the 3rd position is Darren Sullivan in the 21, followed by Randy Houston in the 9. 27 of Ian Elliott comes home 5th. In 6th position is the 5K of Kyle Tellstrom. The 24 of Scott Winters came back to finish 7th. The 12 of Dustin DeRozier finishes 8th. The 44 of Semi Tour finishes in the 9th position. Cody Braun in the number 18 rounds out the top 10. Finishing 11th is the 5 of Mike Sullivan, followed by the 96 of Keith Bloom, the 13 of Donovan Cox, the 08 of Chris Salmina, the 37 of Robert Schmidt, the 02 of Sal Lopez, the 5X of Steve Taylor, and rounding out the field in the 18th position is the 77 car of Jeremy Nowlin.